Welcome. I'm SoniaBolon. Today we're going to continue examining a card from the Major Arcana of the Tarot. We will use this session to connect the Magician card to your own life story while learning important aspects of its symbols that illustrate its message. So get your journal ready to take some notes. Some ideas about note-taking. I will continue to provide some prompts to stimulate your memory for a journal entry. Use these prompts as long as they feel helpful, and don't feel obligated to do more than what resonates with you to fulfill your own wishes and needs to connect to the tarot to connect the tarot to your life story in a meaningful way. These personal connections serve as your very intimate, impactful ways to study tarot. They will also give you so much rich material for you to consider when you design your own tarot card. As you may recall, the first lesson was about the first card of the Major Arcana called the Fool. The Fool is considered 0 because it's just before the beginning. Today, we look at the second card of the Major Arcana, number 1, the Magician. The Fool goes on a progressive journey through the Major Arcana, starting with birth. As the Fool gains experience, more awareness is developed, and the first 6 cards of the Major Arcana serve as the Fool's formative years. In the later cards, he deals with the challenges of adulthood. When you're journaling memories, try to find the most meaningful personal memories that help you identify the card meanings, even if you might not have a huge backlog of childhood memories or prefer not to relive them. Use memories that help you define your life as an empowered soul with free will and choices. The goal of this exercise is for you to examine your own life with connection to the cards. As you learn the meaning of a few key symbols for each card, imagine how your own experiences connect to the Fool's journey through the Major Arcana. So let's begin. The Fool grows in awareness from birth and meets the Magician. The Magician energy awakens as the young child explores the world around them. Magician energy, much in the tarot, is related to the philosophy of Hermetics, and it starts with the Magician. Hermetics teaches that your thoughts shape your reality, magic, and lead you to actions. That's the rule of cause and effect. The first symbol to pay attention to is located over the head of the Magician as the infinity sign. This symbol has an interesting story. The shape it takes, that of the number 8 laying down on its side, illustrates the exact position of the sun at a specific time of day within the Earth's yearly revolution around the sun. If a photo is taken each day for a year in the same place in the sky, the 8 or infinity shape repeats itself yearly. For the same shape is a confirmation of the forever of the seasons, the forever of the forces of our life, air, earth, fire, and water. It's an endless loop that repeats every year, a spiritual forever with a no beginning and a no end. The second symbol is actually the posture of the Magician as his arms are extended, pointing up and down. That symbolizes the notion of as above, so below, and as below, so above. This posture tells us to be aware of what we think and do. Our thoughts and actions affect everything, like ripples on a pond. The third symbol is the table before the Magician, with the 4 alchemical tools of alchemy, tongue twister. Before the advent of modern chemistry, alchemy was practiced as a science, which was based on the idea of possibly changing one element into another or curing disease or extending life. 4 alchemical tools of this particular magician in the tarot are defined in this way. A sword, symbolic of the element of air, represents communication and logical thought. A wand, symbolic of the element of fire, represents inspiration. A cup, symbolic of the element water, represents emotions. And pentacle, a pentacle is symbolic of the element earth, represents earthly concerns, actions, or behavior. So how are these elements able to create an alchemical action? Let's break this down and examine each element. Swords is communication, logical thought, observational thought, and the power of words. Children do not have to be taught speech. It's a natural development. Communication is primarily done through speech. Take a moment to consider your childhood journey to master this tool of communication. What powerful communication were you able to convey through spoken words and that helped you reinforce your own growing identity? Journal about the feelings or thoughts about that event and what made it memorable. Petting the kitty right now. Now let's move on to wand energy. Wand energy is inspiration, thoughts that spur your imagination and creative urges. Think about how your childhood enthusiasm gave wing to your inspired thoughts and gave you the push you needed to have new experiences. Do you have an early childhood adventure you acted upon through inspired thought? Journal about that story. Next on the table, we see the element of water, represented by a cup. Cup energy is emotions that can often arrive without words, but they can strike hard, bursting forth with action, and can sometimes take us by surprise. Emotion regulation does not always come easily to a child, and children need to work on developing self-soothing techniques. Blanket, stuffed toy, or thumb-sucking are examples to manage overwhelming feelings. Emotions can help bond children to family members and caretakers. That is a special kind of alchemy since it creates the first relationships and teaches children that what relationships are. Around the age of 2, individuation happens, and the childhood understanding that they are not a part of the guardian or parent anymore. They are individuated. This individuation process changes in its character as the child grows in awareness. Journal about a positive emotional experience you recall where your emotions helped you trust your environment or relationships. In summary, if you have swords, communication coming from your mind, and wands, inspiration coming from your imagination, and cups, emotions coming from your heart and gut, those invisible magics that happen inside of you will help you to create pentacles, which are action or behavior. Pentacles are your visible magic by your own creation for the world to experience and respond to, like ripples across the pond of life. Pentacle energy is the world we were born into, the earthly realm. Our spirit is incarnate now in a body, and our spirit is enjoying the 5 senses of our body. This joy can be overwhelming at times when we are newly in our body. There is so much to explore. As stated before, these early explorations are our alien self attuning to the world of air and knowledge. That stimulates thought. I have a kitty wanting to jump into the lap. In the world of concrete matter, where objects are hugged, smelled, tasted, and eaten, worn on the body, seen and heard more clearly than before. There is so much to think about. Thinking then leads to action. Can you recall a time in your early childhood where you took action based on your curious, inspired thought and exploration? Journal about that. As we become adults, we continue to fine-tune these skills. Have you ever recovered from a threatening or adverse experience? You probably used these 4 magics to help you grow, to move beyond the pain and absorb the wisdom. When this is possible, we create miracles with our 4 elements and use our own spirit-inspired magic. Starting with swords, logical thought, you can identify your own personal values. What rings true for you? Whatever that is, you can give that voice by your words. To help you identify those values, use what inspires you from wands, and what feels right in the heart and gut from cups. What you know is personally valuable to you on a deep level is your own precious compass. With this compass, you will receive guidance and can commit to actions and behaviors that align meaningfully with your vibration, your soul's path, and your heart's desire. Anytime you are mindfully submitting to your own personal values compass, you are engaging in magic. You are living in a purpose-driven world of your own making rather than jumping through hoops just to get by on a daily basis. The magician is the conscious you taking meaningful action. Take a moment now to sit quietly in a chair and feel the weight of your body as you plant your feet on the floor and take some long, slow, cleansing breaths. It's time to pull in the energy of the magician and feel the tools of his table awaken and working together in your body. As you breathe in that energy, you can breathe out what no longer serves you. After some cleansing breaths, just sit. Thank yourself for this practice of connecting to the magician and following the fool on his journey. As you quietly come back into your awareness, consider the expansion these tarot cards are providing as you reconnect with your own empowering life story. My goal is to demystify the tarot. It does have many mysteries and can become a very involved study. However, you don't need to know every bit of data on the card to be able to appreciate and use it accurately in a reading. With just a few key pointers and your sense of self-understanding in relation to the cards, you can make this card and every card in the tarot a very close and helpful friend. And here's an additional tip. By studying the magician very carefully, you are actually giving yourself a peek at the Minor Arcana. The swords, wands, cups, and pentacles energies represent the 4 suits of the Minor Arcana. So understanding their basic energies will help you to connect to them when we finish with the Major Arcana. Imagine how you can personalize your card that you are going to make of the magician based on your journal entries. What powers did you remember you had discovered or acted upon long ago in your formative years? How would you like to represent that in your magician card? There are many tarot decks, and most of them have 4 tools on the table of the magician card, since those are the 4 suits of the tarot. Would you like to add more tools or different tools? What other changes would help you connect your life to this card when you design your own Magician card? Next up on the Fool's Journey is the High Priestess. I'm looking forward to helping you connect your life story to the High Priestess as you learn the tarot in a deep, impactful way while you imagine and develop your own tarot deck creation. Thank you for being here, and thank you for any comments or questions. I look forward to introducing you to the High Priestess. Namaste.